So for the week under review, let us look at the Northeast Zone, first of all. In the Northeast Zone, the Armed Forces of Nigeria and other security agencies have continued to sustain the tempo and display resilience in their efforts to forestall the activities of BHT and ASWIPE criminal elements. Within the period under review, troops have maintained clearance operations to dominate the joint operational area and constant intelligence surveillance recognized regions, as well as intensive air strikes. These have considerably put the activities of the terrorists in check. In addition to these kinetic operations, the Armed Forces of Nigeria have not relented in its non-kinetic operations in various parts of the Northeast Zone. Within the week, the gallant troops, working together with other security agencies, conducted several clearance operations and repelled attacks on own troops and civilian locations in Yobe State. The operations led to the neutralization of 3 BHT and ASWIPE fighters and recovery of caches of arms and ammunition. In the same vein, 6 terrorists and armed bandits were arrested and are currently being profiled for necessary action. Meanwhile, as the Air Task Force of Operation Lafiya Dole intensifies air strikes against terrorist targets in Borno State, some compounds housing their fighters were destroyed, leading to the elimination of scores at Kaza along Gulumbagana and Kumje Aziz in Borno State. That was on the 1st of September 2020. Gentlemen of the press, as you are all aware, the Borno State government has remained resolute in its effort to resettle the internally displaced persons in the state back to their communities. In spite of the Boko Haram and ASWIPE criminal elements' attempts to thwart its efforts, the state government is determined to resettle more of the IDPs to their home communities. The Armed Forces of Nigeria and Operation Lafiya Dole in particular, as always, will support the state government in its efforts to resettle its citizens back to their various communities and ensure that they go about their businesses unperturbed. This is considerably an evidence of gradual restoration of normalcy in some parts of the Northeast Zone of Nigeria. Let's look at the North Central Zone. What has been going on for the past 1 week? In the North Central Zone, troops have continued to sustain intensive clearance operations which have yielded remarkable successes. Within the period under review, troops of Operations Safe Haven and Wellstroke conducted raids, ambushes, and clearance patrols at various locations, which resulted in appreciable successes. These ongoing kinetic efforts were supported by civil-military cooperation activities, such as reconciliation and conciliation efforts, in the form of stakeholders' meetings amongst the various ethnic groups in the zone, among others. Notably, troops of Operation Wellstroke, within the period under review, following aggressive, intensive kinetic operations at identified bandits' enclaves at Utu in Toto, local government area of Nasarawa State. The successful operation resulted in the neutralization of several bandits and not less than 410 members of their families surrendered to the gallant troops. This was followed by a robust clearance patrol around the same area, which resulted in a raid on their bomb-making factory. In the course of the operation, troops recovered several improvised explosive device-making materials. The camp was subsequently destroyed. In the follow-up operations, troops mopped up additional 290 terrorist family members, as well as the destruction of their camps and hideouts between Koton-Karfi in Kogi and parts of Nasarawa State. It is worthy of mention that these efforts are evidence of the redoubled efforts of the armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies in securing the territorial integrity of our dear country, most especially following recent alerts by the United States Africa Command on the incursion of armed bandits and terrorists into the country. Similarly, troops of Operation Safe Haven conducted a robust night patrol within Angwan-Durowa area in Barkin Ladi local government area of Plateau State. During the patrol, 5 suspected drug peddlers were arrested with large quantity of substances suspected to be illicit drugs. The suspects were duly profiled and handed over to National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for further necessary action. Furthermore, on the 28th of August, troops in conjunction with personnel of the Department of State Services, Plateau State Command, conducted a raid at Ungwan Chiroma in Wasi local government area of Plateau State and arrested 2 kidnappers and gun runners with various blacksmith tools used in locally fabricating weapons. Both suspects and items recovered have been handed over to the Department of State Services for further action. And as part of civil-military cooperation activities within the period, Headquarters Operation Safe Haven held stakeholders meeting with community leaders in various parts of Plateau State. Now, Southwest Zone. In the Southwest Zone, troops of Operation Awase have continued to intensify the fight against pipeline vandals, economic saboteurs, and other criminal elements. Within the period under review, Nigerian Navy ship Beecroft conducted patrols of creeks and discovered 350 liters of premium motor spirit contained in 7 jerry cans of 50 liters, hidden in the bush at Akimbo and Urita on the Atlas Cove Island. Similarly, the base discovered 600 liters of PMS contained in 12 jerry cans of 50 liters, hidden in a bush at Akaraba. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the import of this is that there is a dive in the activities which is success for the armed forces of Nigeria in particular and Nigeria at large. In the Northwest Zone, armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies have continued to build on recent successes against armed bandits operating in the zone. Within the period under review, troops of Operations Hadarin Daji and Sahel Sanity carry out aggressive clearance operations against armed bandits. Most importantly was on the 28th of August, where troops of Operation Sahel Sanity deployed at Mara laid ambush on suspected bandits who attempted to invade Gobirawa village, but were repelled by combined effort of troops and local vigilantes. During the ambush, troops made contact with the armed bandits and engaged them with superior firepower, neutralizing 2 in the process while others escaped with gunshot wounds. Additionally, in the course of the exploitation, troops recovered 1 AK-47 rifle and 1 motorcycle from the fleeing bandits. In the same vein, troops deployed at Zaka, acting on credible intelligence, arrested 3 suspected armed bandits. Suspects were identified by locals to be members of a syndicate terrorizing the general area. During preliminary investigation, the suspects confessed to their involvement in recent cattle rustling and other criminal activities at Kwaya, Sabon-Birni, and Baure villages. All arrested suspects are undergoing interrogation, while effort is ongoing to apprehend other criminals in the general area. Furthermore, armed forces of Nigerian troops carried out several civil military cooperation activities at various communities within the Northwest Zone. These efforts include renovation of schools, drilling and completion of boreholes at Zurmi local government area of Zamfara State. Plans are also underway to renovate more schools in the zone. The general public are once more assured of troops' commitment to safety of lives and property within the zone. They are also encouraged to continue to avail the troops with timely and credible information that will assist them in the operations. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the import here, the significant thing for us here is that we are dealing with the criminals here in trickles now. When we started, it was deleting them, getting them in droves. You can see that the graph is now narrowing down. Of course, there are criminals all over, here and there, but I can assure that the armed forces of Nigeria is up to the situation, just as we have been directed to do more than we are doing now. So you can see that the strength, they no longer operate in strength, and they cannot, because the strength is no longer there. It's the criminals now. Those of them with weapons that they have not surrendered. So by this, we are sending out a message that those of them who are fooling themselves, thinking that they can continue to survive, there is no way, no hole that we are not going to smoke them out of in the whole of the Northwest. So that I can assure. And I want you to also package your story so that you can do analysis on your own. We started 135, 85 deleted, 20. But now it has reduced to 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And we are going to follow it with sustainability to ensure that the Northwest is cleared of that criminality, banditry. In the South-South zone, and in addition to that, before I go to the South-South zone, ladies and gentlemen, the cooperation we are getting from the vigilante, from the locals, is very, very encouraging. And we are using that to send a message to appeal to people across the country, not only about banditry or about other criminal activities, on everything that is against our being secured in this country. Pass the message, give information to the security agencies, and we will act accordingly. In the South-South zone, troops of Operation Delta Safe have continued to degrade the activities of economic saboteurs in the zone. In continuation of the subsidiary Operation Silent Hit, on 31st of August, Forward Operating Base Ibaka patrol team, while on routine patrol around Parrot Island and Nikan Creek, respectively intercepted and arrested 3 medium-sized wooden boats laden with 796 bags of 50 kilograms of foreign parboiled rice, smuggled in from the Republic of Cameroon. Relatedly, between 27th and 30th of August, the patrol team also intercepted and arrested 5 medium-sized wooden boats laden with 120 drums of products suspected to be premium motor spirit, with 9 suspects around Effiat Waterways and Jamestown, respectively. The suspects and items recovered are currently in custody and will soon be handed over to the appropriate prosecuting agency. Similarly, within the week under review, the Nigerian Navy ship Pathfinder patrol team located and dismantled an illegal refining site at Busunome Kirio. The site had a metal reservoir laden with an estimated 578 barrels of crude oil suspected stolen, which was impounded. In another development, troops of 16th Brigade Garrison on the 27th of August discovered and destroyed an illegal refinery at Abisa in Akuku Toru local government area of Rivers State. Before I conclude, our riders for today is on the Darussalam and the effort going on in the Northeast, particularly in Borno State. What at the significance of those two incidents. We reported 410 that surrendered. After exploitation, another 290 joined up, and that was what informed the handing over of about 700 to the various state governments. The question I want us to ask ourselves, where are their male counterparts? Where are the people that captured them, convinced them to go into that falsehood? Where are they? The question is open to Nigerians and people out there, the general public, the vulnerable people. Don't join them. The answer that you have in your mind that you can respond to this question may be as good as mine. So where are they? So probably if you have opportunity of meeting some of the people that have been released to their families now, they will tell you. There was one horrible story there of where they captured a woman with her 2 children, killed the man in her presence, took the woman and the children to the camp, and impregnated that woman. Are those normal human beings? Do they have any good message for me and you? For Nigerians, the answer is no. But I can tell you that if the male equivalence of that number were in the camps, or they went into combat with our troops, then what happened or what happens in combat must have happened to them. So this message goes out to all, particularly the vulnerable groups, the youths. Don't be deceived to join in any group, because your end is sure in the manner that those other people ended. That is a message for you. And then for the people that have words, don't encourage them. Don't encourage them to join groups that you are not sure of. We have the extant religious groups in this country, the extant religious worship centers that are permitted by government. Encourage them to work with such. And then for the general public, once you get information about anything brewing up in your neighborhood as you are going to farm, report it quickly to the relevant security agencies, particularly if you have the armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies operating in your area. Don't hesitate to let them know. Because like I said at one forum, when you talk about nipping in the bud, the issue of Utu Toto is a classical example. That one was really nipped in the bud. And we continue to nip some of the security challenges we've had in the past that deteriorated to where they were before we have checked them and put them under control. Definitely in the nearest future, our security situation will be better. Then the rider on the Borno State is that we are happy, everybody is happy. And it's a pointer that before we know it, sooner than we expect, the security situation will improve better than as it is now. Why do I say so? Because some people have been resettled. Another set is going to be resettled now around Bama. The government is working towards it. And the armed forces and security agencies operating in that zone is ever available to give the necessary support required from the security agency in that regard. So it is something that we should all be happy about, and we should be praying so that the success continues. So I want to encourage us that we keep hope alive, just like has been said by the Commander-in-Chief, down to all faces of this society in Nigeria. And at the end of the day, we are going to be happy for it. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the Military High Command appreciates the general public for their cooperation in providing credible information, which has so far facilitated the successes of these operations. Furthermore, it enjoins the general public to be proactive in the provision of timely information. This is very necessary for the enhancement of operational activities. The Armed Forces of Nigeria assures that these offenses against the common enemies of this nation will not cease until normalcy is restored to all trouble zones of the country. Thank you. I just informed you that we are encouraged that the Chief Security Officer in the state is now making effort to get the communities relocated back to their communities. And as much as possible, I will encourage you to stop using ancestral homes in Nigeria, where you can settle anywhere. I'm not supposed to say that, but security-wise, we look at everybody as a home. Every person in Borno is supposed to be, an indigenous of Borno. Don't quote me for that. I'm just advising you, because you are a journalist, so remove that. But it's by way of advice. I want you to edit it. That is a way of advice. So we are working together, and that is why I say we are ready to support them, to assist them. It's just like the issue of, they say that we are reintegrating people back into the society, surrender. No, it's a whole lot of stakeholders affair. So the essence of this briefing is to carry you along that we, the armed forces of Nigeria, particularly Operation Lafiya Dole, we are ready to serve the government. We are ready to assist the civil authorities. Our own, according to our task in Section 217 of the Nigerian Constitution, is to assist, secure the territorial integrity, which is the larger, the wider perimeter. That is the boundary. That one is sure. That one, you cannot take it from us. But the additional function of supporting them is what I have told you. We are ready to support. It's not for me to give you a yes answer, it is safe. We will do the analysis, and if we do the analysis with other security agencies, the state service is not to bring it to the public purview. They take our advice, they listen to the locals in that area, they listen to their committee, they have a committee at the various state levels, they put all together, and then the state executive will say, okay, let us go. Between me and you, we are aware, it was in the media that the committee was set up. Did you see the name of a military man there? No, it is not done that way. Normally, every government in a democracy is normally powered by the civil authorities, and we are subordinated to them. So we are ready to provide the enabling environment. They will tell you, do this for us, we will do. And that is what we have been doing. Thank you. Okay, yeah, so that I can see you. Good, good. You are trying to avoid the exam I gave you. I gave you a poser, and then to the general public, say, answer it. There are people who went to capture people. Where are they now? But because sometimes we need to go to the nitty-gritty. And when you meet somebody in combat, if you see some of our reports, we say superior power, superiority in everything, which we have and we continue to have over them. We had it, and some of them were neutralized. So that's what I can tell you. Some were neutralized, and like we report, it follows the normal pattern. Some will escape with gunshot wounds, with slim chances of survival. So that is the clarity I can give you for now. And like I told you, we should avoid in this forum to jump into conclusions or what we hear from people. If we get further details of any of them, the male that surrenders, I will let you know. And the arms and ammunition we captured, we reported them. So the issue here is that, and then the message here is that, because it cuts across various ages, the women, even teenagers were there. Some of them must have been, cajoled. Some of them must have been deceived. Their own tactics, modus operandi was they go to preach heresies, preach things that are not supposed to be, as we discover from the religious leaders, that is not in sync, is not in line with their belief. Some people must have been deceived. So we are now cautioning them, don't let any person come and deceive, because you may not see that person. That person can disappear in the fog of war, in the heat of war, in the heat of conflict. That is it. So the logic is that definitely those women and children wouldn't have taken themselves to those camps. And from the report we got, operational report, there were encounters and neutralized, some of them. So by the time the figure becomes definite and clear, like I told you here, I don't want us to do sensational journalism. This body, the outfit is too much, more of integrity. We have integrity, we have to sustain it, and they will not give you. But these people were in their camps, they had their, in quote, organized marriages, husbands, leaders and all. And they went out, laid ambush when we were coming in, and then we neutralized several of them. Some of them ran away. Some of them ran into the bushes, into the forest with gunshot wounds. Yes, as it is, I have not gotten the information, don't quote that one, of a surrender. You are a security correspondent. So it is not an information you go and quote now. If I have the figure, I will give you next week. But of course, there was combat at all the areas we encountered them, both in Kogi State and Nasarawa states. Thank you. I think you should be satisfied for now with that. Even operate even a hibernating cell or a sleeping cell, a sleeper cell anywhere. So that is why we are treading, carefully. We are following them up. Anyone that is escaped, anyone that we know, we are monitoring them. Any other question?